Welcome to the Ill Blur Matty 365 channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the channel, Brother Blur from the Midwest. Ooh. Welcome back, Legends community. It is Ill Blur Matty 365, and today I'm back with a new video, and this is actually gonna be another review, and it's actually gonna be on Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So let's get into the first thing that I thought that was really cool about this game that they didn't do in the previous game. It's the character roster is a nice size. You can choose from Sonic to Tails to Knuckles, Silver the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, Dr. Robotnik. You can actually play with Metal Sonic. You can play with Rouge the Bat, Bid the Cat. Characters from Sonic Heroes and even Sonic Riders, I believe. There was a big, nice roster compared to the first game. First game, you had to do a little bit more work to unlock those characters once you won the races. And that was a bit of a shocker because I wasn't for certain like if Sega was going to be like, hey, guess what? You got to race against these racers to unlock them like in the first game. Sega said, no. You are not going to have to do that. You're going to have a roster to choose from. And the character that I mainly played with in this game for Sonic Racing Crossworlds is Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes, I did play with Amy. Yes, I did play with Cream the Rabbit. And also I played with Dr. Robotnik's daughter. But I had a much easier time learning how to play with Shadow. I also skipped out on the tutorial, which is a bit of a regret, and that's okay. I mean, you don't have to actually use the tutorial, but sometimes the tutorial can be too time consuming, or you're just like, get me to the games. All right. I don't want to do no tutorial. And that's how I felt about it. So the first thing that I want to say is after you pick your racers, you pick your vehicles. And I like that the customization mode is in a different spot compared to the previous game. It was easier to customize your vehicles, which was a cool feature. And for me, like I said, me mainly playing with Shadow the Hedgehog, I started to realize right off that this was the racer for me. You know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it. But the next thing I want to get into is actually something that made the game a bit more challenging. And I gotta say, when it comes down to it, it was the actual Crossworlds. This is why they call it Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So throughout the game, when you're doing the races, the worlds do change up. So you have to actually be open to understanding that the track is not gonna stay the same. You may be in the air for some of the track. You're going to be in the water. You're going to be on the land. So you got to understand, once you get to a certain part of the track and you get into this other dimension, you know what I'm saying, or world, you have to understand that the track is going to change. And you, as a racer, are going to have to be understanding to be like, look, I got to learn how to navigate and fly this vehicle. Oh, I got to know how to drive this vehicle through the water. And then the regular racetrack, right? So it does give that kind of a challenge, you know what I'm saying, that I really thought was really cool. I was like, you know what? This is something that made the game a little bit more challenging because I'm telling y'all, there were some tracks I'm like, yo. I was like, why they doing this to a second? Why y'all do this to me? Got me having to figure out when the track gonna change up on me. But it was a good challenge. I like that. Now, the next thing that was something that was a real cool concept, and I was like, you know what? I would like to see this again, you know what I'm saying, in another Sonic Racing game, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do another one. I like that you had the rival racers. You usually have at least one or two. And the cool thing about the rival racers, if you don't beat them the first or second time, you could change the difficulty on the rival racers so you could understand like how to maneuver them or actually beat them type of thing. And actually, through some of the races, I have had one. Sometimes I've had two. But the main one that's up there with you, like if you were like first, second, or third place, if you beat them quite a bit, you get a check mark and everything. All right, so it shows you that you beat them quite a bit. The next thing I want to get into with Sonic Racing is the actual weapons. I like that we had some of the familiar weapons from the first game, and there were new weapons added to the game. I like the Evil KO was able to shield you from attacks from other racers. The good KO pretty much was giving you multiple coins. And the other thing that I thought was really cool with this game, and I think this kind of took a page from Tony Hawk, all right, is that you could do really cool stunts in the characters' vehicles that you were driving, right along with the actual wave boards. And I thought that was a really cool concept. I'm like, you know what? It was given like Tony Hawk games from back in the day with him doing the skateboard tricks, but just with your vehicles, and it also boosted your points up for Sonic Racing. And I thought that was a really cool feature. I'm like, you know what? I said, Sega over there cooking. Birdman here, they're like, look, we're going to give y'all a game. We're going to give you some different concepts and different things that you haven't seen in the racing game. And then, the next thing I want to talk about is the campaign. So the campaign, you have, I guess you could say beginner racer. It's not beginner racer, but I'm just saying. Then you have normal, hard, next level hard, and then you have reverse. For me, I've only played the easy mode just for right now, so I can get more comfortable before I jump into the next, difficulty first. And the thing is, for me, I gotta say, how long did it pretty much take me to be Sonic Racing Crossworlds? Well, it took me about 6 or 7 days, because I told you guys before, I was trying to see what characters I wanted to play with, and I pretty much just played with Shadow all the way through. Yes, I gave other characters chances, but I think Shadow was just the racer that worked for me when it came to the races. But let's get into the actual review for it so far. So for me, I'm gonna give Sonic Racing Crossworlds, I'm gonna give it A+. But I gotta say, look out, Nintendo. Mario Kart 9, y'all got some tough competition coming. But it is the hardest working player on YouTube, guys. You tell me in the comments, have you played Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and what did you think of it? But thank you so much for commenting and engaging with me, liking because you enjoy the videos, sharing it so you get out in the YouTube algorithm, and also subscribing if you have not subscribed to the channel. It is the hardest working player on YouTube, guys, and I'm out. Thanks for watching the channel. The blur from the middle of the map, it'll blur Matic 365.